So actually it's so nice sometimes that you get mixed up with your colleagues, because Onno from GSE Dispensing, he thought I was somebody else, but now we're here anyway, right? Onno?
Yes.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
You're from the Netherlands, right?
Yes,
yeah.
true.
And I was totally confused when you had your name, because I thought dispensing was actually delivering the ink. But you do something much smarter, right? You mix the ink.
Absolutely, yeah.
So to get it right, the way that you're doing is basically that you have, let's say, some software.
Correct.
And then people, when they want to mix their own Pantone colors, they get the ingredients list for basically adding the colors to that mixture, and then you mix your own Pantone color.
Yeah. Yeah, there are several ways to reach that. So lots of the customers are using color formulation software. So once you have determined or measured your color shade, then we have a possibility to import this formula data from X-Rite, for example.
Okay, so you can basically measure something, and then you basically, from there, you can basically formulate into whatever you want, basically. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, and once you imported this formula, then you just key in the kilos you want to prepare and press start, and the software will do the rest, or the machine do the rest. And then.
And I was just wondering, because why don't people just buy the finished buckets of Pantone colors?
Oh, there are multiple reasons. First of all, if you talk with Seekwork or Flint or one of the major ink suppliers, they always have like a minimum quantity they are selling. So for instance, if you have a design which you want to print and you need for a certain spot color just 1 kilo, but you need to order like 5 kilo, then you have 4 kilo of waste already without printing anything. So what we are doing is that we say, okay, you only need to make the exact amount which you need for your printing job. So that's actually our 2 levels. So first of all, you have your machine filling, and on top you have the amount which you need for the job itself.
So basically that opens up almost endless opportunities for the PSP or the converter to mix the ink he needs, instead of buying a lot of things that just end up on a shelf, basically,
yes,
right?
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's a good topic what you're mentioning, because the philosophy of our concept is that nothing should end up at the shelf. So we also, inside of our software, we developed this tool to reuse these press returnings.
So with the press returnings, does that mean that if you have leftover from a production, whether you bought it from somewhere or you mixed it yourself, now you can use that into the next formulation you need to create?
Yes, yeah. So always, to start a printing job, you have your machine filling. So that's the minimum what's always also coming back from your production. Now the idea is that you can register in our software this amount, and for the next printing job, the software will check in the returning storage what is usable to either 100% matching or what we can reformulate.
Fantastic, and that basically means that I take that if you have a lot of different jobs with a lot of different Pantone colors, I take that also, as you mentioned, if the ink manufacturers today have minimum order sizes, yep, the ROI is quite easy to calculate, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if for instance a printing house now is mixing by hand or using ready-mix inks from an ink supplier, I would say within 1 to 1.5 years they earn back their investment with our equipment.
And it must be nice also because, I mean, with the increased focus on the environmental thing, if you want to get rid of the things, dispose it, it's not as easy as it was in the old times, right? Yep. So it's more expensive even to get rid of. So basically that is an additional part of the value chain that you're offering, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of additional features in our software also. So you have, for instance, shelf life, which we can connect to all the mixed buckets which you have in stock. But also traceability, for instance, is one of the topics which we can help on the customers.
And how long time have your company existed?
We're close to 50 years now.
50 years, okay. But it must have changed, right? I mean, it was more analog in the old times, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I think already from the beginning we built dispensers like we are doing now, but then less sophisticated. And the software, of course, was a completely different topic. And that's the difference what we see now. That although we are a producer of equipment, more and more we see ourselves as a software supplier.
And how is the market? I mean, because if you come to printing companies, I think there are a few trends that you see both on the flexible market and labor flexible, but also sometimes also in the commercial offset space. You see that sometimes instead of having the Pantone colors, you move to an extended color gamut, so you sometimes use 6 or 7 colors instead. Is that something that influences your market right now, or?
Well, definitely, if you have extended gamuts, then you don't need a dispenser, because you always work with the same
that's
set
what
of
I meant,
colors.
yeah.
But what we see in practice is that many of the printing houses have like one press, dedicated extended gamut, and the rest is still the conventional way of working.
So you believe there's still like a long time need for having these kind of mixing and dispensing system, basically?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So is it a product that is easy to get? I mean, do you need to have a certain size in order to be interested, or you have products in different sizes as well? Or?
Yeah, so we supply the equipment for the label printers like narrow web, but also wide web, corrugated, flexible packaging, and all have their specific features and requirements, like ATEX, explosion-proof equipment. And of course, it's depending indeed of how many presses do you have, what type of machine is more dedicated for your production. But,
now we're here at the IST UV days. Is it as easy as with conventional ink to mix UV inks?
No.
No.
Yeah.
So that was a good question, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, actually, UV inks are quite challenging because they're much more difficult to clean, and also, the curing is quite sensitive. Particularly if you see now the movement from traditional UV to LED, the LED inks are even more sensitive. So also we see within our dispensers some challenges to keep the inks or to mix the inks properly.
So, but it is something you offer, or is it something more? Okay, so you do both basically.
Yeah. We are already having several projects done together with several of the ink suppliers. So that's
But it sounds to me like that it's a fantastic opportunity for those who should not know you, right? I mean,
I hope that they already know us, but
but just in case, I mean, it's always interesting to get to know a little bit about some of the things that I didn't know about. So I appreciate your time here.
Yeah, definitely.
So Onno, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and maybe we see each other at the Label Expo. We are present there as well. So
who knows? But maybe. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.